Resident Evil 4 gave us two of the coolest collectibles in video game history with its GameCube and PS2 chainsaw controllers. But way back in 1998, there was another specialty RE controller that was designed specifically to play Resident Evil. This is the Biohazard Senyou Controller by ASCII. It was released internationally as the Resident Evil Pad. While it's not as impressive as a bloody chainsaw, it does have a few interesting quirks and special features. I mean, how many other controllers come bundled with teabags? So, let's see if this was just a marketing gimmick, or if it'll make you feel like another member of STARS, the Special Tactics and, Service. At first glance, you can see the left side mimics a knife handle, and the right side is a pistol grip that features a single trigger. The side of the box says it's modeled after a real gun to make the game feel even more realistic. Dubious claims aside, the most interesting part of this controller for me is the D-pad. Instead of being one piece of plastic, it's divided into two parts, up and down and left and right, which the box claims follows the player's intentions better. You can see when I press on a standard PS1 D-pad, the other buttons move too. Compare this to the RE pad and they don't. So that could mean more accurate inputs and more precise movements, unless you're as bad as I am. As it's written on the side of the box, the face buttons are arranged in the most suitable way to play Biohazard and to deal with any panic quickly. You've got a large and springy X and R1 button that are textured so you can easily find them. They're also labeled in case you forget. The square button has been moved to the trigger position. You've got a triangle and a circle button which don't do anything, depending on the game. And the four shoulder buttons have been moved to the center since they're not often used. There's also a turbo switch that will fire an automatic weapon more quickly, up to 16 times a second according to the box, but this is how it looked. Before we see how it plays, let's see what else is in the box. It comes with a manual, which I've scanned here for you, some memory card stickers, and best of all, some actual herbal tea. It says it's for treating zombie horror, shaking, and feeling startled. There are 3 flavors, peppermint, rose, and lavender. The benefits are, it's delicious, calming, and warming. Best before date, February 2000. It's probably fine.
Very funny.
So is this the ultimate way to play Biohazard? Well, for playing the original PS1 games, the controller impressed me more than I thought. The D-pad feels responsive and precise. It felt like I was dodging and weaving like never before. It's stiffer than a normal PS1 D-pad, so it doesn't feel mushy. However, the sharp corners did wear on my thumb after a few hours. I liked how the 3 most important buttons, to run and shoot, have been made larger to stand out, and their springiness felt really satisfying to press. It's surprisingly comfortable to hold, but the knife handle is made with a few pieces of plastic, so there's a lot of flex and squeaky noises, which feels cheap. With the R1 and square buttons swapped, it did take time to unlearn years of muscle memory. Watch as I panic after pressing the wrong buttons, wondering why I'm not shooting. That also means you have to use the trigger in menus, like to open doors, talk to NPCs, and so on, and it takes some getting used to. If it's supposed to feel like you're shooting a gun by pulling the trigger, it kind of breaks the immersion by pulling the trigger to open doors too. And that leads me to some quirks of compatibility. The Biohazard controller was designed for the original Biohazard, the Director's Cut, and Biohazard 2. In those games, the circle button doesn't do anything. However, when playing Biohazard games released after these, you can use the circle button or the trigger to interact with things. I liked having the option to use either circle or the trigger. It's kind of funny that in a way, this controller is better at playing the games it wasn't designed for. Being a PS1 controller means it should also work on a PS2, so of course I tested it with some surprising results. Outbreak works just fine. The Japanese version of Outbreak 2, on the other hand, told me to insert a DualShock controller. The North American version of Outbreak 2 recognized the controller, but once I got into a game, I couldn't get out of the pause screen, so I don't know what's up with that. Despite reading it's compatible, neither the Japanese or US versions of Code Veronica X or RE4 recognize the controller either. And that sucks because I was really looking forward to trying to beat RE4 with this. Dead aim worked, you just can't aim up or down, kind of important in a shooting game, but you're better off using a gun con or a mouse anyways. Gun Survivor 2 didn't work for me either. as a specialized biohazard controller. It's fast and responsive and highlights all of the buttons you need to play. I appreciated the D-pad enough that I think I'll drag this out of the box every time I want to replay a biohazard game. While it doesn't have the wow factor of a bloody chainsaw, it's a practical and cool little collectible that might not break the bank. I bought this as a set of 5 games and 3 strategy guides, and this was thrown in for free. It cost me about $30. Well, it's time to replay some classic Biohazard games and enjoy a cup of tea.
Oh, am I poisoned? I need serum.
Hey, thanks for watching, and another huge thanks to everyone who's subbed. You guys are the best.